Today we're going to be talking about similarity postulates and theorems. Our objective is that we will be able to identify and use similar triangles, and that we will be able to use similarity theorems to prove triangles are similar. So recall that similar triangles have congruent angles and proportional sides. So we have three similarity postulates and theorems that we can use to prove triangles congruent. The first one is angle-angle. So that would mean angle A is congruent to angle D, and angle B would have to be congruent to angle E. Or you could use C and F. As long as you have two pairs of congruent angles, this theorem will work. In the side-side-side similarity theorem, all the ratios of the sides have to be equal. So AB over DE would have to equal BC over EF, and CA over FD would have to be equal as well. For side angle side, the angle in between two of the proportional sides has to be congruent. So if AB over DE is equal to BC over EF, the angles in the middle, B and E, would have to be congruent. If you're using AB and AC, then A and D would have to be congruent. So let's look at some examples. Are these two triangles similar, and if so, state by which theorem? Well, here we need to use some of our prior information because we only know about one pair of angles. Well, we know that this angle and this angle are congruent because they are vertical angles, and those are always congruent. So yes, these triangles are similar by the AA postulate, or AA similarity. Here, since all the sides in this triangle are congruent to each other, and all the sides in this triangle are congruent to each other, we know the ratios will be the same. So yes, by side, 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 similarity. And the reason we have to write similarity at the end of these is because we also had our congruence postulates. Determine whether the two triangles are similar, and if so, state by which postulate. If they are similar, write a similarity statement, and then find the scale factor where possible. So here, we know that X and angle L are congruent. We don't know anything about the sides, so in order to prove that these triangles are similar, we're going to need to know the other angles. Well, let's look here. 180 minus 85 minus 45, because all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. That leaves us with 50 degrees. So K is 50. So now we know that K and C are congruent. So yes, they're similar by AA similarity. And now let's write our similarity statement. Triangle XYZ is similar to triangle. Now we need to match up the angles. X was 85, so L would be first. Y, we didn't know from here, but it must be 45, so it's the same as J. And Z was 50, and K is 50. What about this one? It looks like there's only one triangle, but there's actually two triangles. There's triangle CDG, this little one down here, that's stuck inside the bigger triangle of CEF. And you guys are seeing now why I'm not an art teacher. Since they overlapped at angle C, we know that angle C for both triangles are congruent. Now let's figure out the lengths of these sides. CD was 15, CG was 20, C to E was 15 plus 12, so this side's 27. And C to F would be 20 plus 16, which is 36. So we need to check and see if the sides are proportional. So 15 over 27 simplifies to 5 over 9. So now we need to check and see if 20 over 36 simplifies to the same amount, which it does. That's also our scale factor. So since the sides are proportional and we know the angle in between them is congruent, it's side angle, side similarity. And we can write our similarity statement. Triangle CDG is similar to triangle CEF. Now finally, checking to see which of these two triangles are similar. So we need to check each pair. So ABC and DEF. We have to do the small, the medium, and the large proportions. So the smallest side here is 16 over the smallest side here is 12. 16 over 12 simplifies to 4/3. The medium side is 20 over 16. 20 over 16 simplifies to 5 over 4. Well, those aren't congruent, so we don't even need to check the large sides. So that's not the pair. So let's try DEF to GHJ. Small, medium, and large. Smallest side is 12 over the largest side, which is 20. 12 over 20 simplifies to 3 over 5. Medium would be 16 over 25, which doesn't simplify, so it's just 16 over 25. So that pair doesn't work because those aren't congruent. So let's try ABC and GHJ. Small, medium, and large. Smallest sides would be 16 over 20, which simplifies to 4 over 5. Our medium sides would be 20 over 25, which would be 4 over 5. And our largest sides would be 24 over 30, which also simplifies to 4 over 5. So we know that triangle ABC is similar to triangle GHJ with a scale factor of 4/5. Fill in your summary, and I'll see you in class.